Honestly, I was like, this is gonna suck. Uh, I thought it was gonna be the worst year at Wofford by far. My oldest brother had Marsh, and he was always complaining about the mold and all the crap that was here. So, yeah, I was not looking forward to it.
My expectations were probably just like I heard Marsh was cool because a bunch of people lived in Marsh, so it was like you got to know everybody, and you weren't really secluded. Whereas like if Green or Carlisle, you're like secluded, and you don't get to meet as many people. So I was personally kind of hype about living at Marsh.
I was pretty bummed about getting Marsh at first because I always heard Green was a lot nicer and the living conditions weren't very good in Marsh, so I was pretty bummed.
I expected that I was going to be living in just a pretty dumpy place, but I was pretty excited about it because I've heard a lot of good things about what it's like living in Marsh. Just that the conditions were pretty rough, but that it was a fun place to be.
I really like how it's very social and everyone's doors are always open kind of, and you can always go in your friend's room and hang out and whatnot.
Just the friendships, the camaraderie. I think people here in Marsh have a lot more fun than people in Green.
My favorite thing about Marsh is probably just the brotherhood, the tight knit woven community that is the Marsh homestead. As Napoleon once said, eternite, fraternite. I don't really remember the rest, but that's all that matters. It's the brotherhood, the eternal brotherhood.
My least favorite thing about Marsh is probably the washing room because it smells like cheese and like toe cheese. To be honest.
My least favorite thing about Marsh is probably the shower heads. As the great Kevin Gates once said, those things are introverts that come off as aggression. And that aggression is when the toilet is flushed. The toilet flushes, and man, that water gets real hot. Real hot.
My least favorite thing about Marsh is probably that we have to tape up the windows because if not, stink bugs will get in. So look out for that.
Well, it was the first weekend we were here, and I had just gotten back in from a night out, and I was in the bathroom getting ready for bed. I took out my contacts, brushed my teeth. When I was walking out of the bathroom, I got blindsided the side of the face with this brownie that one of the dudes from down the hall was throwing. So I picked the brownie up and I threw it back at him, and I had some words for him, and then I went to bed. It was a nice welcome to Wofford.
My favorite memory about Marsh thus far is Mary Baird and I ding dong ditching, well, I guess like knocking on doors and then running away from on a lot of people's doors.
The biggest challenge of living in Marsh is probably dealing with the washing rooms again because they smell like cheese.
The biggest challenge of living in Marsh is getting in the beds. It's a real struggle every night having to climb up a ladder, hop into the bed, hit your head on the ceiling. It just really is a struggle.
Finding time to be alone and not constantly having to deal with people.
I would rate Marsh a 9, no, probably an 8 out of 10 because Marsh's bathrooms are really gross. Green's are a lot better, except first floor Marsh is really nice because they renovated that one. And then the stink bug thing's pretty bad. But other than that, and the laundry room. The laundry room's not my all-time fave either.
I'd rank Marsh probably like a solid 7 to an 8. Probably because it's a crappy dorm, but the people are great.
Probably give Marsh a 5.
Why?
It's really not high quality living, but again, it's the place to be. I got a lot of friends in here, so it definitely makes up for it.
I think it has a negative stigma because just like the living conditions, I mean, they're just pretty terrible, to be honest. Like the dorms, whoever set those up is like probably should have gotten fired.
It has a negative stigma probably because it's the older dorm and Green's a lot newer, and there's just always bad things associated with Marsh.
Well, every Sunday, if you walk down the halls of Marsh, there's definitely a lot of damage. See, look there. You can probably count at least 10 ceiling tiles missing. There's always stuff on the floor in the hallways. The bathrooms always smell really bad. So I think it's just the conditions. The stairwells always stink. There's something sticky always on the ground in there, too. I think it's just because it's so gross.
What I hope to get out of living in Marsh this year is to grow closer to the girls on my hall and on the other floors.
An appreciation for my own bathroom and my own living space and not having to deal with an annoying roommate all the time.
I hope to come out of it closer with all the guys. Closer with all the guys that that are in Marsh, and come out as brothers.
Let's see. I would say don't have a bad mindset going into it because probably 80% of the time it's going to be a lot better than you think it's going to be.
Make the most of your time in Marsh. Because although it's just like not the nicest, it is definitely the most fun. So you'll enjoy your year in Marsh. So take advantage of it. Take advantage of being able to wreck the halls and run around and do whatever.
I would say probably get 2 fridges. 2 fridges is the gas. 2 fridges.
Oh, for sure. At first I thought it was gonna suck really bad, you know, especially since I saw that my room assignment was on 4th floor. I knew that my life was gonna suck for the first year, but it's definitely turned around.
I still think Marsh is pretty dumpy. But I do like living here. So I don't know. I don't think they've changed that much.
No, I think the brotherhood that was always talked about is still there in the Marsh homestead. Everybody just like knows each other. We've only been here like a month and a half, and everybody is brethren, born and bred in Marsh.
Yes, my opinion has changed since I lived here a few weeks because it's been so much fun living in Marsh, and all my friends are in Marsh, and it's just a super fun dorm because there's always something going on.